This is Cura. This is for the filament printer that we use. It's called Bebo. Here I'll import my file. It's going to black or defined. So this is the model it's fairly big, so we need to scale it down to around half. So 20 should be good. And from here, let me select back, go back to move. Right, so we need to change the view to layer view, which enables the software to slice, and we can see the printers. Right, but from here you can see where it's added the supports from the inside as well, where the hole was. But down here you've got the layer thicknesses, and it shows you the colours of them. And now you just shrink that down. So here, this printer we're using is extruder 1. So we only use one extruder for this printer at the moment, and the materials in PLA, so the filament. Then we go down here where the settings are for this print is. We got the layer height, the infill. We don't really use infill for this one. Alright, so here's the settings for the print. So here we have, because ours is one extruder, we use extruder 1 for this. And if we go further, if we just go down these settings, we got the materials. So we're using PLA for our filament. We've got all these different ones, and you can also select custom materials that the printer is able to use. So, and then further down you've got recommended, but we use custom because, as I'll explain later on why. And then after that we've got the quality. So the quality of the print, since this is going to be a prototype, we're not going to do fine. It's not going to be the final work. It's going to be a draft. It's just so we can get it out and see if it's going to print alright, or if there's any changes we need to add to it further down the line. So the draft quality is roughly around the right quality we need for it. It's 0.2 mil per layer, so that's okay. It's fine. It's good enough for what we need. Then we have the layer height, the infill. We have the shell of the thicknesses, but we won't be using this. We'll be using the quality, so the layer height, which ties in with the draft quality. The infill we won't be using as much. We don't need infill for this. So and then we go on to the material, but this is where it comes into why we customized it, because we want the build plate not to be too hot, we want it to be cooler. So because it will warp the plastic once it gets printed on, and it's just wasting filament that way. So we changed it to 0 degrees so we can print on the bed. And then you've got the print speed. Then you've got the travel, the cooling, so the fan speed. So you need a good amount of fan speed, so around 30% really. I mean 30% is what we are going to be using for this, because it's perfect for PLA filament. So it can cool down and cool the plastic down, so it's not moving as it prints. So it's the layer that it's just previously printed on is more firmer, so it doesn't warp. And then you've got the supports, the build plate adhesion and the dual extruder, but we won't be using the dual extruder. So this is the printer. Another thing about this software is it can also automatically slice the part. So whereas if we were talking in terms of the Chitu, you have to individually put the supports on and you have to slice it, and it takes time. With this program, it automatically puts the supports on instantly and it slices it for you, and that only takes less than a minute to do. So, but if we go down here to the bottom, it also shows you the time it's going to take and the weight of it. It also shows you the cost, which is optional to have, but in comparison to the resin, this takes a lot less time to construct. It takes 18 minutes. The resin one takes around 3 hours. So if I now go to, before I slice it, these two bars here are also important because it can show you how it's been printed. So if it's perfect animation of how it's constructed, as you can see also, now it's highlighted it, the green is where it's going to be supporting. So the green, the supports in Cura is called helpers. So all the helpers are, well, everything's colour coded, so helpers are green, basically. But yeah, it's these two bars are for animation and layers. So the one on the right is layers, the one on the left is the animation for the layer. Alright, let's go and print this. Well, save to, because it's already sliced it, so save to remove stick. It's already saved as a G code in drive G, but let's check to see if it's in the right one first, because we might save it in the wrong stick. Save to removable drive F, save to removable drive G. Let me check. F, yeah, G's in the right one, so let's check to see where it is in G. And there it is. Let me just move this into demo. And there we go. So now it's saved. So now this is it.